All right, here's one since you're so curious.
Tommy.
I remember coming home from school and finding her naked, face down in the bathtub. I was 14 years old. I pulled her out by the hair and I called the ambulance, and they walked me through CPR till she puked water in my face while I was blowing air in her lungs. And she sat up and she looked at me like I was a stranger. And then she pulled her leg back and she kicked my nose through the back of my head. Then she got up and walked into the kitchen and made herself another fucking drink.
In the morning, Tommy drove his car, bringing his whole family across the border to Canada. This trip, he was going to attend his biological mother's funeral. However, during the long journey, not a shred of sadness over a close relative's passing could be seen on Tommy's face. What existed was only a coldness and numbness like an iceberg for him now. Attending this funeral was merely fulfilling the most basic social and family obligation as a son. At the funeral, everyone quietly listened to the priest speaking. There were no farewells, no prayers, as if merely going through the process. After the funeral ended, the family gathered and sat around the lunch table. This scene that occurred next made Ariana, as an outsider, feel incomparably shocked and suffocated. At the dining table where they had just lost a mother, from Tommy to other family members, actually not a single person mentioned the deceased who had just been laid to rest, without even a single routine remembrance. Everyone talked about the weather and road conditions with composure, as if that woman who had just died was merely a stranger who had never existed. Ariana could not stand such an atmosphere, so she asked everyone, and Tommy only then finally uncovered the Seal family scar. How could there be cold blood without cause or reason? The reason why Tommy was completely devoid of nostalgic feelings was that in his childhood memories, the word mother had nothing to do with warmth, replaced instead by long, endless physical abuse and mental torture. Growing up in this love-minus-less family, being able to stand here to send her off on her final journey was already the last dignity Tommy preserved for this mother-minus-son relationship. In the middle of the night, when Tommy went downstairs to get liquor, he heard crying sounds. Ainsley, the rich young lady who was always afraid of nothing on earth, at this moment was curled up in a ball on the sofa, having long turned into a weeping mess. Her tears were not shed for that cold grandmother, but for her father. When she learned for the first time that her father had actually suffered such tragic and inhuman abuse in his childhood, this spoiled daughter felt heartbroken beyond measures. He could not imagine how her omnipotent, upright father back then actually gritted his teeth to endure through those dark nights alone. However, facing his daughter's breakdown, the scar-covered Tommy displayed a touching tolerance and relief. He gently hugged his daughter, revealing the origin of a tragedy hidden for half a century. His mother was not born a demon. When Tommy was little, his sister, who was merely 4 years old, tragically died young. The pain of losing a daughter was like a heavy sledgehammer, instantly shattering mother's spiritual world. Madness, decadence, and distortion thoroughly devoured that woman, and incidentally dragged the entire family into an abyss of eternal damnation. Tommy forgave his mother because he knew that the one abusing him was not his mother, but that soul thoroughly driven mad by destiny. Returning upstairs, Angela's eyes were moist. Her past experience working in a nursing home made her understand better than anyone how desolate and desperate those helpless elderly people were when waiting to die in care institutions. Angela walked to Tommy's side, gently persuading him bring Father T. L, who is still lingering on in the nursing home, back home. Since the grievances of the previous generation have already vanished into thin air, along with mothers laying to rest, then do not let another old person spend the rest of his life in loneliness and being abandoned as well. This is not only a redemption for the old man, but furthermore the last opportunity given to the Tommy father and son to truly reach a father-minus-son reconciliation and smooth over the trauma of 2 generations on this icy Texas wasteland.